Pulse the Program series rolling right along. We've been through Ann Arbor, Michigan, been through Columbus, Ohio, been through Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So now we take the Pulse the Program out to Tallahassee, Florida. Some good weather, I think, this time of year in Tallahassee. I can't say that with absolute certainty, but I would imagine that's the case. Florida State, number 4 last night in the college football playoff rankings. The number to the left, if you've watched this show, you know where I'm going. Not as important as the number to the right of the logo. All about that donut in the loss column. So, they're undefeated, and you got the North Alabama Lions coming to town. It's my lion noise for those of y'all on podcast and watching live. And then you're at Florida. That's all you have in front of you. Those are the only hurdles left. Now, at Florida, obviously, the more daunting of those two. It's going to be a rivalry matchup, and we saw this last weekend with Miami, how rivalry games are just tough in general. You delete logic. There's extra emotion baked in. But I think you feel pretty good about Florida State running the table there and then likely playing Louisville in the ACC title game. It's all right in front of you. It's a 3-game season. To check that box of achieving your dreams of being a college football playoff team. That's what all these guys that transferred to Florida State did so for. That's why a lot of these guys came back. That's why you have the number 1 returning production in the country. But what's the pulse right now internally? What's the pulse? 3 games left, more or less, before you're a college football playoff team. I think the pulse in Tallahassee right now is that they're built for it. They're built for a moment like this. They've built to a year like this. And right now they are built both literally from a roster and internally from a culture perspective for a run like this for where they are right now. Let's start with the roster. I said it already, but number 1 returning production in the country going into 2023 was a big reason why we like the Noles going into this season. They returned that number 1 production, not just from a team that found their way to a bowl game and did some good things and played above their skill level. That was a team that went 10-3 last season. Okay, so these dudes got some skins on the wall. And oh, by the way, you add some really key pieces. Jaheim Bell, been a dog for you. Swiss Army knife. Fentrell Cypress, done a good job on the perimeter. And oh, by the way, Keon Coleman has a very real case, I think, to be one of the top receivers in the country. A lot of people that I think would tell you he is the top receiver in the country. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a freak show in himself as well. When the ball is in the air, Keon Coleman, I think he's the best my ball guy in the country. So yeah, the talent is absolutely there. From last year and the portal additions that you made, credit Mike Norvell for saying we got to keep pushing the envelope here. We got to get better on our roster. We got to become more multiple. Now, the reason why I think this roster is worth talking about, yeah, you got some good pieces, but what football is about matchups, right? And I think this roster can match up with anybody else in America. I think they're the best get a matchup offense in the country. You want to double Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson's 11 feet 7. You want to take both of those guys away on the perimeter? Well, Jaheim Bell's working in the middle of the field. Oh, by the way, you got Kyle Morlock. Oh, by the way, we got Trey Benson. We have so many weapons we can hurt you, and Jordan Travis has continued to elevate his game to where this Florida State offense is able to unlock all those weapons. Because you can have whoever you want on the field, but if you're not able to maximize those pieces without a quarterback, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So what I want to make sure we say about Florida State is I don't think the personnel will take the field against anybody, whether it be the ACC title game, whether it be the college football playoff. I don't think they would be overwhelmed by anybody they match up against. The defense also adjusts really well. Multiple second half shutouts. Jared Verse is going to get paid a lot of money here in the next couple of months to be an NFL defensive lineman. They got all the pieces on that roster to accomplish what they want to accomplish. The second part of this, though, and arguably the more important part of this, they are competitively built for what they want to achieve this season. 87% production back from last year. Yes, they won 10 games. That's great. But they also won 4 one-score games. These are dudes that have been up against it, been in the foxhole, had to look down the barrel of a loss and turn it away and find a way to win that game. That means something. You can't account for the experience going through those flames of adversity. Florida State has that internally on this roster. In addition to that, this is the same team in a lot of ways, based on the production, that lost 3 in a row and then won 6 straight. You know how difficult it is to bounce back psychologically and emotionally from a losing streak? I've been in locker rooms like that. I've been in a lot of locker rooms like that don't get up after 3 losses, that lose 3 in a row, and then you're mailing in the next game. And then you're already predicting your next loss because of who you have to play against. Like Florida State, to respond that way, that speaks volumes to just the response mechanism this team has. And we've seen it multiple times now. We've seen it show itself within this team. We saw it at Clemson. down early in the game, find a way to fight back, force overtime. Clemson misses a field goal. They respond, does Florida State, and find a way to win the game. Big touchdown pass to Keon Coleman. Like, you can't overstate the importance of the internal makeup of this team. And the internal makeup doesn't matter if you don't have the talent. So the fact that you have internal makeup plus talent, I think Florida State can accomplish everything they want to accomplish. And the reason why they have that internal makeup at a place that it's at is based on leadership. And a big part of that leadership, whether you want it to be or not, is your quarterback. And Jordan Travis, we talked to him in the offseason, and he was really transparent with us about just his journey at Florida State. Like, I think he embodies everything that Florida State is from a character standpoint, from a never say die standpoint, from a respond to adversity standpoint, because it wasn't always the Jordan Travis show at Florida State. There was a point in time where people didn't want him to be the quarterback. There was a point in time where Jordan Travis didn't want to be the quarterback. He's like, hey, I'll go play receiver if that's good for this team. Like, it's obvious based on the Twitter sphere that people don't like me. Like, I'll pivot. Credit this staff for instilling confidence in him, and credit Jordan Travis, man, for being able to block out that noise, to keep it pushing, to keep climbing, put one foot in front of the other, and to be at where he's at right now. Again, that is a very difficult thing to do, especially as a college student. In today's day and age, with all social media and all the voices you hear from other people, like, to block that out and to just focus on the game and improve, like, Jordan Travis deserves all the credit in the world. And to play the way he's playing right now, he is the catalyst for this team. Not just this offense, this team. They go as Jordan Travis goes. So this is the big question now that a lot of people are asking, like, hey, what about national championship? Can Florida State win it all? Full transparency, Florida State, I think, if they're on their game, if Florida State is playing at their A-plus level, I like them to match up with anybody in the country. And the reason why I say that really is predicated on what I've said about them for the last couple of weeks now. The wide receiver play and the level that Jordan Travis has shown he can operate at. If that is working for them, I don't know how you stop Florida State. Now, paired with that, I would say you got to be able to run the football pretty well, but I trust the defense. I trust the playmakers on the outside, and if that's just your matchup, you're milking to a win, that's how you win the football game. So can they? I think that's fair to say that they could. Will they? We'll see. We will absolutely see. You got to take care of business now in the ACC and against Florida, but Florida State, they've built to a year like this, and right now, internally, as a roster and culturally, I think they're built for it. So I can't wait to watch what they do the rest of the way. Can't wait to watch how Mike Norvell fires up his guys the rest of the way and how they keep it pushing. And Jordan Travis, again, all the credit in the world should be due to 13 for how he's operated this year. The Hard Count is brought to you by Roback. And Roback, man, y'all know how much I love Roback. I wear them all the time. I wear them all the time for a reason. They got the best polos on the market. They got the best joggers on the market. Performance crew neck. Little nice hoodie action. Andy Staples and I were both in here. And it was like that Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other because we're both wearing the Roback hoodie because it's so comfortable, buttery, what you need right now for crispy season. And as a whole, man, like they get us as college football fans. We've done work with them for a long time. Roback will not steer you astray, all right? So, going to keep you comfortable for long game days on the couch or at the tailgate. They got you covered. Roback has also been proudly leading the new NIL charge, and they've signed partnerships with guys like Cade Klubnik, Kyle McCord, Nick Singleton, Jalen Milroe. Audric Estime, I believe, has even told Andy Staples it was his favorite NIL deal he did was with Roback. So use code JD on Roback.com for a generous 20% off for all new customers. That's spelled RHOBACK, 20% off. All performance polos, shorts, everything they got. Redeem that with code JD. So we'll take care of you just in time for football season. Make sure to check them out at Roback.com. A great way for y'all to support the show and support a great brand. I promise you. They will take care of y'all to the nth degree. Will Roback. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.